Hi guys, my name is Mark and today's review is a roast on, no it's not a roast, don't worry. Is a video about the XM2we from ENDGAME gear from Germany, and I'm happy to show you this one now. It's a little bit late, but it's worth it. Let's go guys. As you already know or saw, there are also a lot of videos and reviews about it online, but you are here for a reason, I know it. I just bought myself the XM2we, which is like the light or the cheaper version of the very, very long announced XM2we, the new flagship or the new flagship claw grip mouse of ENDGAME gear. Which was like announced nearly 1 year ago, I think, and was pre-sold in March, if I'm not wrong, last year, something like that. It's just out of my mind, and I have to say, okay, thanks. Nothing happened, or never something happened, and then ENDGAME gear end of 2022 just came a little bit more talky, fluent and transparent to the community, because people already were like a little bit angry. A lot of people wanted their money back because time was too long for a pre-sale, and there were pre-sales, a ton of them. And then they announced which problems they had, which solutions they have, and then they said, okay, now we need to do like a cheaper version, or we want to do a cheaper version first for people who are not able to spend like above 100 euro, or who just want a mouse with a 3370 solution and the CX, which is very common. I mean, the CX is very common as an MCU, but the 3370 kind of outdated for me. But ENDGAME gear tried to tell and teach people about the combination of those two things. The sensor by Pixar, the 3370, which was used already like 2 or 3 years, maybe 4, and which they already had in the XM1, in the wired version, by the way, and with the CompX MCU. So they told people about it. They said, we can make it wireless, you can do it fast, and we just give you a new optical switch, which is the TheWhale Go. And yeah, then they just released this here. It comes in a total normal package, nothing special, not Lamsu style, not GWOS style, not Vensa style, or any else, or any brand who is doing like really good packaging or like a lot of packaging work. You have this normal USB cable, USB-C, which by the way, doesn't fit, for example, in the Lamsu, even if it looks like it will fit, and doesn't fit in some other USB-C mice. And we also we're testing a lot of USB-C cables to get them into the notch, the dock of the ENDGAME gear, and we found out only the real ENDGAME gear cable was fitting. Even the Lamsu cable in German, by the way, looked like it's the same, but no, it was this way. The Lamsu one is fitting in here, but the ENDGAME gear cable is not fitting into the Lamsu. So the Lamsu was the only one which you would be able to use also if you have a Lamsu. But I wouldn't recommend it, just use the original cable. But for me, that's a kind of a proprietary thing. Designing a notch cable or a cable in general, which only fits in this mouse, and making the front notch, the loading dock, this way that only this cable fits into it. It's like, if I lose this cable, forget it. And like when I'm on LAN and no one has the cable, how will I charge this mouse? I don't know. For me, it's not a good move. Not very client friendly, to be honest. Yeah, then you have this here, like, yeah, the packaging, the dongle, and the dongle translator, the mouse. Both have a CX chip, and I have to say that ENDGAME gear, for example, on the new designed webpage, it's good work. They already tell you about everything. They tell you about what they did better on the XM2we. And first time I see, or sometimes you see it, but it's very transparent in my opinion, they tell you about those microcontrollers used. Very good move. I like this a lot. That's very transparent, and people are like, deserve to know it, to be honest, because nowadays where you have like not those big amounts of spare money laying around and spending money on mice or mouse pads or in general on PC peripherals. It's like getting harder because everyone has less money and everything gets more expensive. I think more transparency will lead to a higher involvement product, and that's why people can or would be able to decide better which of those 3370 mice they are available in the wireless branch they would choose. And I think a lot of people would choose the Endgame gear because Endgame gear itself has a very high status as a brand on the gamer, and I can say this one is pretty well made, by the way. And they have like the small book. It's like the quick start guide. It's also pictured. Basically, it's only pictured, so it also would be usable in the USA because it's like a little comic, very good made. They also explain you how to use the dongle, by the way, guys. Use the original cable, put the dongle in front of your mouse, pretty straight, and like 20 centimeters away from it to have like the best common signal. And from my side, I can tell you guys, try to use the original cable, the original dongle. Go into the USB port on the back side of your PC. Don't use the front panel or anything else, and no hub, no extension. And try to use a USB port very on top of the back panel of your motherboard, because these are mostly the best root hubs you can use for like usage and for like how can I say, so that the mouse dongle and everything else is very well compatible with your PC. This is for that, for the packaging and for the first look and for the first initial feeling and for what they tell you. Here, by the way, it says the lifespan of the optical Kail Goes, which have, in my opinion, very, very simple build-up, is 80 million clicks. Do they feel like Kail's 8.0, those, the blacks, the snaps? Maybe everyone knows of you because like nearly every mouse now had them. Most of the newer brands or other brands going away from Kail 8.0s, the GMs already, and I can understand this because I was playing G-Wolf's HTS for long term, and they just were one of the first with those Kails, and they were like snappy for the first 2 weeks, and after that they just got like, I don't know, not that good anymore. And can't say from here because I did not main this one, and I don't want to main this one because just by how the weight is and how it feels with this combination, combining with the skates, and how the micro adjustment feeling is for me and how I can grip it, it's not a good fit for me, and I would not enjoy it to play, for example, like 8 hours in stream on Apex. But nevertheless, I tested it a lot, and I also tried to get a good micro adjustment on a fast on a control pad. And if you ask me what pad this is here, where it is on, that's an Endgame Gear MPC Stealth in 1200 width and 60 deep, which is like, in my opinion, the worst Cordura pad you can buy right now on the market. And if I see how the quality and how bad it is after like the whole time I have it, I own it, I'm pretty sure I can get all the Cordura pads I have over there, like the Trigoon, like the MP from Cooler Master. They are all looking better than this one. And I'm still my opinion is still that this one is the worst Cordura pick ever. And now you ask me why I have it here, because I want to say something. I bought this mouse myself, and most even smaller reviewer got this mouse for free, with Cordura mouse pads, with MPCs for 50 for free, just to test them with the mouse. And one thing is that I just posted, for example, the first version, because that's the second version. There's like an exchange version of the XM2we I got, was like, or had like that click feeling. So could be defect Kail Go switch, or like the plastic or the stamp, which is pushing on the green button you see here on the click. was not directly on point, or was like a little manufacturing problem. I did not watch it, I did not open the mouse, I just got it exchanged because of the videos I uploaded on Twitter about the mushy dead click and how it sounds. Some guys from ENDGAME Gear contacted me and said, hey, we want to exchange this because we know you make a review. They exchanged it. Next day I was able to go to Case King again and just got a free exchange. But I did not get back my money or something. It still paid myself, like the pet also. And I think it will stay this way because I never sugarcoat and I always give you my honest opinions. You hear a lot of pros and cons. And I want to continue. I have to say the click feeling in general for an optical click is okay. It's not too unnatural. It's not too plastic-like, like on some Razer opticals I already played. It's okay. It sounds a little bit metal because there is those gold or copper to aluminium connection inside, and then it presses down to the optical branch, which is like down here. This part, this is the optical part where this puts in, and this is this gives it back, so the click returns. I can say it's okay. Don't know if I would enjoy it to play it the whole time. For me right now, one of the best is here on the Lamso Mini. It's super enjoyable, super spammable. It's a really well made. Not compared with the big Lamso where it was like, I don't know. Wow, it still sounds like shit. This here is totally okay for the money. For 79.90, it's totally well made. What else did they change? They changed the side buttons, which was like on the XM1 review I've made, which was one of the reviews with the most downvotes ever on YouTube on my channel. Was like way better now. How it's made, how it feels, how it grips. It's like when you click here, it's not even moving here on the front. It's splitted now, which is like better for the internal mold design and for the design in general, how the structure is made, how these clicks are put on the plastic and get stabilized from behind. And if you click the front, the back end also does not move here of the back button of this one. And here it's also very snappy feeling. Here the whole button moves at one time, and here it feels like separated. It's very well made. It's good rounded into the shape. It's good designed into the shape. So if your thumb is rolling a little bit up whilst you're aiming or you're doing a flick or whatever you're doing, you're not in just click it by accident or something. It's just like really good made. I like this a lot. I also have the feeling that the easier way or the easier switch for and encoder for the mouse wheel is very good. The mouse wheel is a smaller one. I like this, and it's easy spammable and clickable. The activation force of the click here on the mouse, but on the mouse wheel is not that high, so it's well made. The shape in general is not really my shape, to be honest. I'm more like the Hati-esque guy or the Starlight-esque guy. Tried also the Hati Plus, which was okay. The Venza is okay, good. Oh, also for me a little bit too long in my opinion. For myself to have a very good micro adjustment. Lamso was totally trash for me. Sora was also not enjoyable. Lamso Mini was very good, and that's the only real competition by shape for me right now when it comes to claw grip. These two shapes are like for me the most or best available and common claw grip mice. This one is with the hump more to the mid focused, and this one is with the hump or with the highest point of the hump more at the end. And here also you will have or will be able to have a flatter claw grip. Here for me the Lamso Mini is more way of have a claw mixed grip, like also fingertip grip. That's here, and here it's like having a relaxed claw and having a good time with it. So overall, it's a very enjoyable shape. It's still the shape of the very first XM1. Size-wise, it's smaller than a normal Lamso a little bit and not as wide, pretty good. The front gets a little bit flared and you still have a good grippy ass, so the backside is very grippy. As it is, I can say it's one of the most enjoyable claw shapes I've played since a long time. but this also comes, or the enjoyable, also the real good feeling in hand comes with the coating. The coating is like very sensitive to finger touch, and gives you, like, if you have oily or sweaty hands, fingers, you can see it directly. I think you have to clean and swipe off it early, but in general, like, how it feels a little bit like rubber coated. It's very good, very enjoyable. You don't need grip tapes. Even there are no grip tapes in the box, as there are also no extra skates in the box anyway. And I think you don't need them. It's totally okay. Just clean it regularly and then you will be happy. I have no idea how long this coating will last, but I have a very, very straight opinion about these type of skates. These type of skates, same type for me as like on the XE from Waxia. They are way too big. I mean, it's okay for control pad player, slow pad, mud pad player, because a big glide gives you a lot like of up force, uplift, whilst you are in the movement. But in general, for me, like the micro adjustable feeling for people who are not playing 400 DPI and 62 centimeter on this MPC pad. So I'm not this guy. Huh? For me, it's just not the thing. I would love to already had here, like split skate like on the Lamsu. As I know, on the XM2we there will be split skates included, like on the old XM1. And as I already said in my German review, I really liked the initial sports skates on the XM1. This was one of the most overthought designs of a skate ever made. Even the quality was not the best of the PTFE, but the way they are made and how they are placed was really enjoyable, very balanced feeling, and in my opinion also way more micro-adjustable. But you see that Endgame Gear made like improvements to the product itself, and they are good, and I'm hyped to see the end version with the SMT32 dual core and with the hopefully performance mode they may have, and hopefully a 2K or 4K upgrade later, because I think this product, even if it's a little bit heavy with 64 grams, can be a very good choice for the most tactical shooter player of you, for like Warzone guys and Apex guys. I wouldn't recommend it. I think there are lighter options already on the market who would fit you more and who would fit an agile micro adjustment grip also way more, and a more direct click feeling. But at the end, it's a nice product, and I'm very honest with you. I'm also pretty proud that, I think it was a good move from Endgame Gear that at the end they opened themselves to the community after those long waiting, what they are doing and what they are planning. And we know there will be a short version coming, which is more expensive. And they are really working and trying to do something, but they need to, because brands as Pulsar, for example, like Vansa, they are just improving, they're just moving. Huh? And one thing I also did is like, I checked for the competition, because for me it's like, it's okay, it's 80 below 80 bucks, and but it's 3370 with the Compix, and we already have this. We have this on the Bolt, we have this on the Extra Fi mice, which are basically made by FNG, which is the same factory behind Glorious, for example, or Cooler Master. And we have like still those Glorious mice out of the same factory, which are, for example, more expensive. I just have this overview here from a German comparison site for pricing of products. And it starts with an Endorphy Silentium PC Lix for like 5766, which is only like 6 grams heavier than the Endgame Gear, and is also different shape, but it has holes. It's up to you then. Then we have the Bolt. The Bolt is also 69 grams. Bolt was kind of okay for me, was a little bit disappointing by the overall performance, and I think now the price 74.90 in white is good. It was 99.90 at the beginning. It was totally overpriced in my opinion, and Endgame Gear did not make this mistake. They just have the right price at the beginning, and that is like the move was the right one, is proven by that this product is sold out to the end of February everywhere. So as I said, sometimes it's the price, and people already know what they want and what they get for the money. You can see it on those overpriced glorious PC game race mice, the One Pro wireless for 120, or you have like the O Pro wireless also for 120. Why should I buy a 3370 Comp X mice from Glorious with those QC issues for 120 when I, for example, can get a G Pro Superlight or like those Endgame gear for 80 euro, or I can get Superlight, by the way, has better sensor, or I can get a Lamsu for 100 or 109 euro. Why should I buy a Glorious? So the placement, the placing itself with the price, the product itself is very good. Endgame Gear made everything right. I don't say buy this one, but if you're seeking for this shape and you have those 80 bucks, you can spend them. Just spend them. It's totally okay. And now I will talk about the latency. Latency is like, we just compare the GPX, the Lamsu Mini, and the XM2we. We always use the GPX as benchmark because it's a very fast product, very consistent, has basically always the same latency on any versions we have used. We have like 3 or 4 different GPX already measured and they have all the same latency. We measure end-to-end latency, means we click and the LDAT, which we got provided by NVIDIA, measures the photon reaction. So when the pixel color or the flash is shown on our monitor through the whole system. Why we do this? Because of the, how can I say, of the whole render chain, of how the software is made, of how it's connecting with the Windows system, with the human interface device, drivers and stuff. We want to see this, and there are differences already, but this one performs pretty well, like I thought it will perform. It's totally good. Here, that's 6.74 ms, click to shoot. Then we have the Mini in the wired mode, so with the cable in it, no wireless. It was like, let me check, 8.63 ms, and the Endgame gear with the wire in it was 9.02 ms, which is basically only 0.5 ms in difference. So this can happen by just how the click is made or how the debones way is pro-made or whatever. It's totally in the field of being pretty much the same. 0.4 ms is nothing. Then we tested them also both in wireless mode. Wireless was here in the Lamsu Mini 10.18 milliseconds, and on the Endgame gear 10.79 milliseconds. Again, 0.6 milliseconds difference. Totally okay, nothing to complain about. If we think about where we started, 1990-70, even with Nordics, which have like no idle delay, which have like way better performance, these started at 16 ns or something. Later they were 14, and imagine here they only have a CX and it already starts below 11 ms. So there's nothing I can complain about. Well made. If you're still here, thanks for watching. We see us in the next video. Goodbye guys, bye.